everybody, and welcome to the June meeting of Friday Flicks. Our title for this month was Capote, starring Philip Seymour Hoffman. Before we get started, this is just a quick and friendly spoiler warning that the following video and comment section will include spoilers for the film. If you haven't yet watched it, copies are available through the library's Hoopla database. The film is based on the events of author Truman Capote as he begins researching and writing his iconic book In Cold Blood. The book is based on the Cutler family murders and is described as a non-fiction novel. The movie is set in 1959 and begins with the discovery of the bodies of the Cutler family on their Kansas farm. When author Truman Capote sees an article in the paper on the murders, he's entranced by the story and decides that it will be his next writing project. He travels to Kansas with his friend Harper Lee in order to conduct research and in-person interviews with those connected to the case. Though the lead detective on the case, Alvin Dewey, is initially suspicious of Capote and uncooperative, his wife is a fan of Capote's writing and invites the author over to their home for dinner. Over time, Capote becomes closer to the Dewey family and is allowed to view materials related to the investigation. It is during one of the dinners at the Dewey household that they receive news that the murder suspects, Perry Smith and Richard Hickok, have been caught. With the two suspects in jail, Capote is able to use flattery and bribery in order to ensure that he has unlimited in-person access to both men. Of the two suspects, though, it is Perry Smith that Capote forms the strongest attachment to, and spends significant time interviewing him and learning about his past and childhood growing up. Both suspects are tried for the murders, and upon their conviction are sentenced to death. Despite the gruesomeness of his crimes, Smith's sincerity and apparent remorse pushed Capote into obtaining legal aid for him, starting a long process of appeals that would culminate in the Supreme Court. As the appeals process begins, Capote begins writing In Cold Blood, even convincing Smith to describe the murders in detail along with his own thoughts and feelings that night. As the appeals process continues over the course of several years, Capote finds himself without an ending to his story, unsure if the convictions will be overturned or if Smith and Hickok will be executed by the state. During this time, Harper Lee publishes her iconic novel To Kill a Mockingbird and sees it turned into an award-winning movie starring Gregory Peck. However, Capote is too wrapped up in his own issues and misery to support his friend. After several years, the appeals process makes it all the way to the Supreme Court, but when the last appeal is rejected, Smith and Hickok's execution date is set. Though Smith begs the author to attend his execution, Capote initially refuses, until a telegram sent to Harper Lee finally convinces him that he needs to do so. Truman Capote stands as an eyewitness to the executions of Perry Smith and Richard Hickok, finding himself scarred from the experience. Though he now has an ending for In Cold Blood and is able to publish his manuscript, an epilogue to the film notes that, although he became the most famous writer in America from that work, he never finished another book. The epilogue also notes that the epigraph Capote would have chosen for his final, unfinished work is a quote from St. Teresa of Avila: "More tears are shed over answered prayers than unanswered ones." Although I am personally a mystery and true crime fan myself, overall this was not one of my favorite movies. Although Philip Seymour Hoffman did an excellent job as Capote, I would have liked to have seen his character portrayed a bit more three-dimensionally. Overall, I was left feeling as though Capote was manipulative and self-centered, often using flattery and bribery in order to get his way, and always making himself the center of attention with stories about his great accomplishments and all the famous people he's worked with. Although we're given hints of his softer, more vulnerable side, it would have been nice to have seen that explored more, to see his more selfless interactions with those he considered friends and family in order to better understand who he is as a person. It's fascinating to watch Capote grow more conflicted as he grows closer to Perry Smith as a person, but also continues to profit off of his conviction and eventual execution. Although this film was not one of my personal favorites, it did push me to look closer into Truman Capote, In Cold Blood, and the Cutler family murders. The events chronicled in the book and surrounding its writing and publication are fascinating, and I encourage anyone who's a fan of true crime to look deeper into the subject matter. But these are just my thoughts, and I really want to know what you guys think. Were you a fan of Truman Capote's work before seeing this movie? Had you read In Cold Blood before? If you hadn't read In Cold Blood before, did this movie inspire you to pick up the book? Share your thoughts and feelings on the film in the comments. I can't wait to hear what everyone thought. Don't forget to stay tuned to the library's website and social media for more information on our upcoming programs and events. We've got a lot of great things planned for you, and I can't wait to see everybody at the next event. Bye!